Hey, we're live.
Excellent.
We're live and alive. We're both at the same time. Welcome, everyone. Got Brett Pinson and Kevin Meinert in the house.
Yeah.
We're here to. It's our Wednesday Kickstarter night. Talking about our current Bardstone Kickstarter, our third one already this year, which we're killing it. Not to brag, but we are.
Well, it's because we've had two previous ones and everybody got their stuff pretty quick after the Kickstarter ends. So I think we're setting a good promise on everything we do.
And I'm getting a lot of feedback on the quality. They're liking the quality of the work as far, not just the artwork, but also we're putting the money into printing quality products. Our friends over at Ready Comics did a great job. And then we got our other friends at T-24. They made these awesome t-shirts that we got one for Poe and one for Crimson Shadows. So not sure if I'm going to do a Wretched Realms one though. I it's a lot of work getting all that stuff. So I may take a break. Yeah. Plus, with it being an anthology, I'm thinking maybe down the road after we get a couple stories, I might be able to make like a movie poster style image that has something from each story or something.
That'd be cool.
So, yeah, because since this issue 1 is a standalone story, I don't want all the promotional stuff for the future of Wretched Realms to be about this, because it's not just Wild Wet stories. We're going to have sci-fi, we're going to have funny, we're going to have scary, we're going to have all kinds of stuff. So, you ready, Kevin?
I'm ready. Sorry.
Kevin's just like in his own world over there.
I was sharing the post and I had to get a beer, so.
All right. Well, sharing is good.
Beer,
coffee,
Beer. Cheese, Yingling.
Is Yingling a Pennsylvania beer?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
it's coming to Michigan though.
Is it?
Yeah, they are signing a deal, I believe, with Molson Coors for distribution in states like Michigan and a few others. So I'm excited. I like Yingling. It's good beer.
Good stuff.
Good variety.
Yeah.
Well, we are here to talk Wretched Realms. We're going to talk about other things as well. We're going to be here about an hour, but just want to post up there our current progress. We're at $17.28, so we're just $272 away from hitting our goals. So then we'll be officially funded, and then we start working towards our stretch goals. We got some awesome stretch goals in the works. Oh no, COVID! I coughed. No. So, yeah, I'm excited for this. Things are going well on this. Shara Lima is finished with all her colors. She's doing the flat colors. So now I'm just got to do the final stages of finalizing the colors and final inks, and then it will be done. Other than the covers, Kevin's got a limited cover he's doing. He's already done with his show off. Mine is still in the rough stage. I may even change it altogether. I have an idea in my head that I'm thinking about going with for the cover, so I might do that. And then we got Sergio Cariello, who's our special guest artist, joining us, which we're really excited about. He's going to be providing the finished inks for the cover he's designing. It'll be for our unlimited edition cover, in which Kevin will be doing the colors of. And then we will do a limited edition that will be black and white with just Sergio's pure inks on it. And then finally, we're going to do an ultra edition, much like we did the last one with J. Travis Smith's artwork, where we'll add foil accents and limit it to 30 total copies. So
Excellent.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's been a lot of fun. So another reminder to anybody thinking about pledging, any pledges of $40 or more, I will throw in a free 4x6 sketch. So that will be added automatically to all pledges 40 or more. And that could be rewards or rewards and add-ons combined. So there's a neat little feature here where Kickstarter's added that on. Kevin was excited about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the add-ons is just a great scenario for... Well, anyone that's done a Kickstarter, add-ons is just kind of an essential thing, and
it's so easy to do the way they set this up.
Yeah, they set it up nice, and I mean, to really give everybody the reward combinations that they would want, you'd have 100 rewards, and it's a nightmare to fulfill all those, because it's just it's just difficult. So to have the different rewards and basic packages, and then let them customize the reward the way they want with the add-ons, it's great. And it's great for anybody that wants to back any of these projects, because they really can get, hey, I just, maybe they just want a digital copy of the book and a regular cover, but they want all these extra things. They can just add them on at the end. And, before we'd have to sit there and create individual rewards for every single, combination. And it was just,
you'd get a random email from someone. It's like, well, I want this reward, but can I add this? So then you got to go in, you had to create a special reward. And then next thing you know, you end up with 30 rewards posted. So much better and cleaner doing these add-ons.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see how it operates when you get to the end and you get the data. I want to see how they present that to you, and if it's broken down. By the way it looks, if they break it down the way I think they will, it's going to be so much easier for fulfillment, and that just speeds that process up too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and based on the last survey too, they're looking to tie their information into the actual post office and other sites too. So if they do that, that makes it even more user friendly for us.
Yeah,
because as we've talked about in the past, the fulfillment really is like 80% of the workload.
Yeah, the time and just so that package everything up, and I mean that's bad enough, but you want to ensure that you're getting everything that everybody wanted, all the rewards they picked. So it takes a lot of time, because you got to be pretty meticulous, because if you get up to 80, 100 different, rewards you're sending out, it's easy to get mixed up. So Kickstarter's done a great job of trying to make that simpler, easier for not only the creators, but for the people that want to back the book. So it's the best time right now with these the new edition of having the add-ons to jump on a Kickstarter and get whatever you want.
Right. Now, today, or yes, I don't know, every day is a blur. Kevin, you added some more rewards to here. Which ones did you add?
Yeah, I threw in a reward for you can get my exclusive cover, and a 4x6 sketch for only $20.
Here it is.
I figured I'd throw a really good reward out there for everybody.
Nice. Look at that.
Yeah, so you get a signed cover and you get a 4x6 sketch for $20, and it's limited to 10. So grab them. You really can't beat the price.
That's a great price. Your sketch, if they were to get a sketch from you at a convention, it'd probably be $20 for the sketch alone.
Yeah, definitely. So I did a few last night, kind of warming up, doing some, just quick sketches, just to have some fun.
Nice.
It's always fun to hop on and just do some of the live sketches. So just quick examples of what you're going to get, but that's an original piece of art on our lovely Bardstone stock.
That's right.
Yeah. So
good stuff.
You can't beat the price.
If you did, you need a big long stick to do so. Here are some samples of the interior pages. These are in progress, so these are not colored yet. They're some of my pencils. So for those who don't know, The Wanted Man, issue number 1. Every issue is a standalone story. They're independent of each other. Different artists or writers could partake. So if you have a short story and you're a writer or an artist and you want to be part of this, let us know. Bardstone would be happy to work with you. We're gonna, if it's long enough, it'll be one full issue will be the story. If you have a shorter story, we could combine multiple short stories into one. So
yeah,
it's good stuff. Here's the add-on menus. So $3 only for the digital editions. They're $4 roughly if you buy them independently online. But through us, you'll get the code for only $3. Unlimited edition copies of my Emmanuel God With Us or Crimson Shadows, $9 each. Those are usually $10. Limited edition covers for Crimson Shadows, Kevin, Brett, and Jay Travis's. Those are normally $15 each. They're listed for $12. You got the T-24 Crimson Shadows t-shirt, $25. We have sizes small through 3X. The Poe Macabre Master Pack, $30. You get that set.
Yeah.
sketch on your choice. It could either be for 50. You can either get your sketch done on a Wretched Realms sketch cover or on Crimson Shadow sketch cover. So that's the actual sketch, though. So if you got if you bought the reward with the sketch cover for 10, the 50 would be added on. So let's see what else. And then the whole pack. If you want everything Crimson Shadows, you missed out on the last one. You can get the whole Crimson Shadows pack, $130. So I think it was $180 value when you add it all up. So good stuff. Weird, wacky stuff. There's some samples of some of my sketch covers. My sketch covers for these type of things are just grayscale marker and ink. So, and then our stretch goals. We're already almost at 2,000. So soon we're going to be working towards that stretch goal. The first one are mini posters on premium cardstock. $3,000, they get upgraded to metal prints. $4,000, I added an additional 6-page story at the back of the book. So right now I think it's 26 pages. So it'll be up to 32 pages. So that's cool. Actually, a little more because they'll make a special cover too. $4,500, we'll colorize it. We'll hire a colorist to partake in the fun of Wretched Realms. And finally, $5,000, a bonus variant cover will be added, and everyone who did the $50 or more in rewards will automatically get it.
Nice.
For no extra charge. So there you have it.
Fantastic.
So Brett, you were a little off topic here. You just got something in the mail today.
Yeah. They came out with a brand new Blu-ray special release of Kevin Smith's Mallrats. His
that was a great movie.
His ultimate failure is hilarious because it failed at the box office. He was given $6 million, didn't think he needed that much, and it didn't even make $6 million. Of course, they didn't promote it that well either. But I forgot I ordered this several months ago. And what it is you get the limited edition contents. There's tons of extra bonus stuff on here, but you have 2 discs. Disc 1 is the original theatrical cut with all kinds of interviews and voiceover stuff and all the cool stuff you can have with that on any DVD. But the second DVD is really cool. They have the extended cut because people don't realize that Mallrats was actually about 10 minutes or more longer. And there was a whole segment before we see what happened in the movie that people know of that kind of set up some of the stuff that happened later on. They kind of referenced it here and there, and it set up why TC was hated by his girlfriend's dad. So, besides the fact that he was put into her.
Is Mallrats connected to Clerks? Are they like a shared universe, or are they independent?
They're a shared universe. Kevin, that's his second movie. So he did what's called the View Askew universe. And what it is Clerks started off with things in there, and then in Mallrats, they actually reference stuff that happened in Clerks. And actually, by the timing of it, it actually takes, I think, Mallrats, Clerks, and Chasing Amy all take place all within around the same time of each other. Okay. In terms of if you were to have chronological time. But it definitely referenced stuff. And then you got Jay and Silent Bob, that is the go-between for all the movies.
Right. So, and Mallrats is, if not the first, one of the first movie cameos from Stan Lee, isn't it? Am I mixing that up? Or is that the other one, Chasing Amy?
No. It was Mallrats. He was definitely in that. I don't know if it was his actual first cameo in a movie or anything like that.
I know he was in TV series like Incredible Hulk, like The Return of the Incredible Hulk or Death of, whatever it was. I'm trying to think if he was in other movie cameos prior to that.
Yeah, and I saw stuff where Kevin Smith was just really excited that he got to have one of his actual living heroes was there. And that's how he got to know Stan, and then they became lifelong friends, that up till Stan passed. And
correct me if I'm wrong. The Captain Marvel movie, the cameo by Stan Lee there, wasn't he doing the script lines for his appearance in Mallrats?
Yeah, because it was set in the 90s.
Yeah, he was actually. They were the stuff that was going on was all kind of referencing Mallrats, which was really cool.
Which means Mallrats is officially part of part universe.
Yeah.
It is now canon, yes.
It is canon. So
But I always liked Mallrats. It was, I liked Clerks, and Mallrats came out, and I liked that right away. And I've watched it a bunch of times. And I saw this, I was like, I have a DVD of the extended cut, but when they have all the extras, I was like, I got to get this just because I like the different commentaries, and they have updated commentaries, things like that. So it'll be kind of cool to go through the discs one day and kind of watch the movie, watch all the extras, things like that, and see what they've added in and all the fun stuff. And then they also included, which is kind of I think a funny little add to is they put the TV cut on with the extended cut. And it's like, okay, why would you do that? But they basically put it in because it's like it's funny to watch them had to get bleeped out to be on TV.
Right.
So it's just a way of watching it without commercials, and it's the TV cut, and it's just kind of funny.
I love it when it's the TV cut where they have some voice actor who inserts a word that obviously doesn't fit in that spot, but they'll insert a word into the line.
Yeah, they get somebody that dubs the voice, and it doesn't sound anything like them, but they.
Yeah.
It's always just wish they would just silent. I like when they don't not bleep, but the bleep is actually just the silent where they cut it out. It's like the sound drops out for a second. And,
exactly.
I'd prefer that over the dubbing half the time. Or like I watched Swamp Thing tonight. I recorded it last night off CW, and they had to bleep out a few words. It wasn't bad. They only had a couple of them, but when they did, they dropped the sound out, but then they put like a little circle over their mouth so you couldn't even see what they were mouthing.
They should have made the circle look like a little mask, so it was like a COVID mask.
Right.
Yeah. But this is the Swamp Thing that was on the DC Universe streaming last year.
Nice.
So these are being run for the first time, which I had never seen them, and it wasn't a bad little start. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season goes. There's like 8 or 10 episodes, I think. So
right. I want to give a shout out to Jacob for chiming in there. What's up, Jacob? Just our
Jake.
Wednesday hangout here. So he had his Rhino Boom Kickstarter he did, which was a very successful run. So that was congrats on that. Looking
he's
forward to
working
getting
some
mine
more
to work.
stuff. He's posted. He's working on a couple more scripts.
Yeah,
like that. So excited about that.
This
So
is awesome. After all this COVID stuff next year, maybe like with Jacob and us, and we got Hasm and Sean, we could like all form together to be like Voltron to have like this mega indie comic presence.
Right.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Especially we all get to a nice, good sized show and all hang out. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Be like, yeah, you have to buy all our books. So just walk around, all the books.
One book to rule them all.
Yeah, and you mentioned Sean Forney, and he's launching his Scarlet Huntress Field Guide next week on Kickstarter. So,
is that next week?
That looks good.
Yeah, I knew it was coming up. I couldn't remember when.
yeah, he'll probably join us on our Odd Musing show in a couple weeks. He's busy next week, but definitely it's another fun Kickstarter sport besides the Wretched Realms. So
let me find that real quick because I think he has the page up for you to follow on Kickstarter. So let me grab that real quick just so people can find it. I thought he posted the link so you could.
Yeah, I saw
Yes,
it.
he did.
It's the
Here it is.
preview page.
Here it
Yeah.
is.
And he's definitely inspiration for how we're shipping out the Kickstarter books. I love the packaging he had, and that definitely helped us out immensely by knowing what he's using in that. And then definitely, I liked his last Kickstarter. I'm looking forward to this field guide. I love the cover they did because Sean and Steph have been sharing that quite a bit.
Here we go.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
So here it is. So if you go, I'm going to post the link in the comments here. But if you just go to Kickstarter and type in Scarlets Field Guide to Cryptids and Other Creatures, go there. See this green thing here? Notify me on launch. Click that, and bam! It's that easy. It'll notify you when it goes live. So check that out, and I'm going to post that real quick. Let me put the link here for Sean's. Sean Forney is Forney, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. Sean Forney's.
And there's always a lot of Kickstarters. This is the time of year definitely more Kickstarters are popping up. I saw where Brian Polito's got a new one coming up, and several other people. So, definitely you can support more than one Kickstarter. It's independent comics. It's a great way to get some great comics you're not going to find at the comic book store, and you get exclusive covers. And that's always the fun part about it, is getting something that you're not going to find anywhere else. And then you got a great read on these two. I've had supported a lot of great ones the last couple of years, and really enjoyed reading every single one of them just because they're all different. They're all something unique to them. And then
I really enjoyed Sean had the Scarlet Huntress Kickstarter a few months back. And once again, he also uses Ready Comics, I believe, for his printing.
Yeah.
Am I right on that? I think so.
Yeah.
And so his books are great quality also. He takes great care in the shipping, so they arrive nice and safe. So
yeah, and he included some really cool extras. Had the trading cards and bunch of little add-on rewards, and they always do just like we do at Bardstone. We had some stretch goals.
Yep, stretch goals.
Yeah,
Gotta stretch.
So definitely exciting stuff coming up, not just from Bardstone, but also the pals of Bardstone.
Yeah,
Pals of Bardstone. I like that.
Yeah, I was looking through all the Kickstarter. Every couple months I just take a real deep dive into anything comics, and I was shocked there. I mean, usually I always find a few things I would buy. I had to stop. I'm like, click, yes, yes, yes. I'm like, oh, I better stop. I can't remember how much I just spent. So
yeah. You have to watch it. That's also another pal of mine here in Michigan, another Michigan artist. Terrell Culbert's got his going on right now.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, let me see if I can find that, and I'll
share it. Then just so much stuff is coming out. Our other friend Dominic Reggio of Mess Bucket Comics, their Kilted Avenger book, the Roddy Piper comic book, that's coming out. It's coming back from the printer in a week or two. He's going to arrive. It's going to arrive. Speaking of which, I'll have to coordinate with you guys if you guys want me to grab your rewards from him, because I'm going to meet with him. So we'll have to coordinate that, or he can mail them to you.
Yeah.
So,
I'm looking forward to seeing that. They've been working on that for a little while, and I've been really excited. I've seen some of the artwork Eric done for it, and he showed me a couple of the pages. It looked great.
Yep, Dominic did the writing. Eric, I believe Eric did all the art, but I could be wrong on that. And then it is a fully licensed product through Roddy Piper's estate, because he had passed away. But they are working directly with his wife to do this project. So yeah. So it is an officially licensed, fun, fictitious biography of Roddy Piper as a superhero. So yeah, that'll be coming out soon too. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So we got. Are you finding that page, Brett?
Yeah, I'm gonna share it, and then
all right.
Let me see if I don't know if I can drop it. Let me see if I can drop the link in. I just pulled it up. I had to log in. I think I have to go in a private chat, and I can drop it there, and then you can copy it over.
Yep, I can.
But I'll share the screen as well. And it's called In My Style. It's pinup art by Terrell Culbert. And I've known Terrell for quite a few years here at the comic scene. Fantastic artist, wonderful guy all around.
And he already made his goal, so his is it's fully funded.
Yep.
And it's moving forward.
Yeah, and he's doing some cool rewards too. This is what's neat about different Kickstarters, is that he's doing the $20 Inktober reward, which is you get a 9x12 piece of comic book art, as well as you get a PDF, and then you get the actual sketchbook and promotional book art. So for $20, you get some original art, a book, and things like that. So it's a great little thing, and he does he's got a really good style, and he definitely he likes to draw a lot of females. And him and I were next to each other at the Michigan Comic-Con last year, and definitely I highly recommend it. Not just because he's a pal, but I think it's just a fantastic little book he's doing, and it's great to kind of throw him a little shout out. And that he doesn't know we're doing this, so. But and the thing is that everybody gets different things. So, but he's located out of East Point, Michigan, and
another like Michigander.
So. Yep, and the Midwest here. When we talk about, I do talk Michigan a lot because I'm from Michigan, but Kevin's from Indiana, so we'll include Midwest here. But there's so much talent going on here in between Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio that we're just talking about right here. And then Jacob's out west, so Jacob, you got to move to the Midwest, dude. And but there's a lot of great talent going on and a lot of cool Kickstarters and that. And this is, I believe, Terrell's first one, and he's done a lot of cool stuff. He's done like a video podcast in the past where he's done video interviews. I've done he's interviewed me a couple times. He's always had a lot of cool artwork and some different books he's done over the years. And he's just got back into it after a couple of years off in the last couple of years now. And it was great actually having him next to me at the Michigan Comic-Con, because we had a chance to chat all weekend long. And he's just another comic book fan, and we just, had a great time. So he's just an awesome guy. So definitely recommend, besides our Bardstone, always is checking out his as well. And
for My Style, it's called.
Yeah, for $20, it's just like the Kevin's reward here. For $20, you get some original artwork. It costs you that just at a Comic-Con just to get an original sketch from some of these guys, and they wouldn't be in color. Some of these are gonna be in color, so. Or it's a really cool stylized. They're not just gonna be a basic sketch. Here you go. It's something they're putting a little time into, so it's worth the money. And someday they will all be worth tens of dollars.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, check them out, and support indie comics. It's important. It's independent comics are. What's awesome about independent comics is this: when you get to the large, I'm not making this political. When you get to the large companies, what happens is they're trying to sell such large numbers. They have to start playing it safe, and they can't. They have trouble catering to any one group of any affiliation.
Right.
Indie comics, we're small enough. We're like surgical strikes. We can target a very specific audience with a very specific message for whatever group you believe you want to follow or believe in, or whatever message you want. And if you don't like what I'm putting out, I can guarantee somebody else is putting that out. And that's what's so awesome about indie comics. We're all inspired by our own passions and drives and hopes and dreams and whatever and backgrounds. And this is our creative outlet for telling these type of stories. So with independent comics, if I'm not making what you like, somebody out there is. And a platform like Kickstarter, so many of us are on there. So support indie comics, because that's how, the arts thrive. I always get mad with the whole crying Kevin Smith thing, where it's like, it's free to thank an artist or whatever. That's bullcrap. Spend your money on an artist. That's how you thank an artist.
Because and you mentioned Kevin Smith, and that's what I did. I could promote his stuff, but I actually supported by buying it.
By buying it. Exactly.
And I'm the same way. Even at shows, I love to buy independent comics at shows, and have for even before I started sitting behind the table. Yes. And that was always my key, was going through Artist Alley, seeing what was new and unique. And I still got comics from 30 years ago going to Motor City Comic Con. And now sometimes flip through them and be like, wow, this is pretty cool from 30 years ago, when they didn't have any of the technology we have to help create the comics. They had to do it the old school way. And and while sharing links is great, and we do that on all the stuff we help out with, and that gets the word out a little bit, as much as you can, throwing a little bit of money at to it is going to be really good too. And and
well,
heck, even a $5 donation is good.
Yeah, even at shows, and Brett supports this a lot, and I do too. With other artists we know, their children a lot of times will be at shows, and they're drawing, and they love it. And you offer a child money for their drawing, oh my God, you see the spark light up in their eyes, where they're like, wow, I can make money by doing this. And they love it. Mm-hmm. And it's only a few bucks, but you know what? That's inspiring to a kid. So many artists are so self-conscious of their own work. How many times we see it at Comic Cons? Someone will sit there, go through all your stuff, not spend a dime on you, but tell you how awesome you are, keep it up, and then they leave. And it's like, well, I'm sorry, but your thank you and keep it up isn't going to put food on my table.
Yeah.
Then you go get a job, and then they're like, oh, why aren't you drawing? Well, because you didn't spend money.
Yeah.
I need to make money and pay bills.
Yeah.
It's the way of life.
Yeah, the harsh reality hits. It's like anything else. Encouragement is always a good thing. You always like your boss to tell you you're doing a good job.
Right.
But you want the paycheck. So
you need the paycheck.
Yeah. So paycheck, and you're a crap employee, but here's your paycheck. Okay. Yeah, you're doing a great job, but we're not going to pay you this week. What the hell? I mean,
Right. You either need to pay me so I can pay my bills, or find a way to get rid of my bills so I can work for free. One of the two. There's two sides to this equation. But yeah, so we're artists. We love what we do, and we're creatives at heart, all three of us, and we have stories to tell, and this is our outlet. So Wretched Realms is our new series, Anthology Series. The Wanted Man is issue 1. It's a Wild West inspired story, as you can see. It's actually based upon the song from Styx, The Renegade. It's a story that popped in my head while listening to that song, and I put it down on paper to share with the world.
Sing it again this week. You gotta sing it.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for my life. Oh, yeah, from the long arm of the law. Hangman is coming down from the gallows, and I don't have very long. There.
I just want you to keep doing the ones based on songs so you can sing every week.
Oh, I have a whole bunch. I got a whole bunch. I got one for Jesse's Girl. So I got a story for that one. So my contributions to Wretched Realms will always be a song-inspired story.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good idea.
I like it. Because whenever I'm in the car, I don't know. I don't know if it's the creative side of me or what, and I'm sure you guys have the same thing because we're storytellers. So when inspiration hits, it pours itself out in the form of a story. Whereas if you're a musician, you think of music, ways to pour yourself out through music. So I'll hear a song and a storyline will come to my head while I listen, you know? So one I want to do is Screaming in Digital by Queensryche. I've had a story for a long time in my head for that one. So for like 20 years, it's been in my head. So I got to get it out. Do you guys find that with storylines or artwork, you get inspired for something, it just like sits there and until you get it out?
Yeah.
Some, you hear songs and you sometimes it ruins it if you Google and search what it's actually about, or you have the misfortune of actually meeting the artist and be like, dude, I love this song. I love how you're talking about, your girlfriend, how she left and came back. And he's like, that's totally not what it's about, dude. That was about my dog. Wait, what? Crushes everything you've thought for like years.
That's the Guns N' Roses song there.
Yep.
About his dog.
Was that November Rain or something?
No. It's yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love her, but I had to kill her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I don't know. I get, you never know where inspiration is coming from. It's sometimes you hear a song, sometimes it's someone says something on a movie or TV show, and you think it's something completely out of context from what they're talking about, but it just sparks an idea.
It sparked it.
So
it's like the All-Spark in Transformers.
Yeah,
brings life. Indeed. So we got Wretched Realms, people. Go check it out. We got it going here. 1728. We are so close to the rewards.
Yeah.
So close. To the rewards. To the
goal.
The minimum goal.
Hit that goal. We start working towards those stretch goals. We got like 3 more weeks to go, but still, it's good to hit the goal sooner than later, and then actually, then for sure it's coming out. But
the other thing too with Kickstarters it seems like there's a lot of people who want to hold back until a project is fully funded. So if you're going to fund it early, because it's that much sooner that those people who are waiting to see if it gets funded, it's that much sooner they can start contributing.
Heck, if you're not even sure what you want, just do a minimum pledge to get started, and then you can always come back and adjust your pledge later on and take a higher pledge. True. Or if you see a better, like if we decide to drop some specials in or things like that, you can take advantage of those anytime. So
I always view it as it's like my surprise. It's past Kevin surprising future Kevin. That's what I really view a lot of times. I mean, I literally was looking at it over the last couple of days, and I don't know, it was a couple of projects. I know I liked them, and I pick a few things, and maybe one of them or two of them doesn't get funded, but like 2 months from now, a book's going to come in the mail. I'm going to be like, oh wow, what's this? And I always forget, and I'm like, oh, great book, I'm like, thanks, past Kevin, and I go and read it, and it's just I love it. It's kind of like Christmas. I'm my own secret Santa. So I love Kickstarter. I mean, there's some random stuff out there that I'm like, that looks really crazy. I'll go ahead and back it, or, like even like Todd McFarlane put out his like Spawn figure. I'm just like, that looks badass. Bought, and then I'm like, oh crap, that was $100. But I'm like, that's so cool,
It's so cool.
I want it for my shelf, I'm like, it just looked awesome. And I'm like, because he offered the artist proof one. So it's the figure, but it's all black and white with the sketching and everything on it. Like he actually drew it and it's a good size. I'm like, I've never seen that. I'm like, I want that. That just is something if I saw at a convention, I'd buy it, so why not? I can't do any conventions. I haven't been able to go out and, and do that kind of stuff. So I'm doing the shopping on Kickstarter. So there's a lot of people out there that are itching to, get out to a convention or anywhere, depending on what state you're in, like you guys. But, so if you get on Kickstarter, that's your way of, virtually going to a Comic-Con. It really is. Oh,
yeah. Yep. You're buying direct from the creators, which is nice. Then that's where you get all kinds of bonus stuff too, like, signed issues or limited editions or original sketches. There, so many things like that. So it's good stuff.
You're gonna find things on here through the Kickstarter, directly from the creators. You're not gonna find anywhere else. Depending on who. I mean,
let's say you go to Kickstarter here, right? You go to Kickstarter.com. Preferably go to Wretched Realms. Make a pledge there. But after you're done pledging to our project, look it up here. See this little Explore? Click that. There's all different things. There's not just comics too. I mean, they got films, games, music, all kinds of stuff. But if
I've got a couple games off that are really cool over the years, and like some end up in the stores, like the Exploding Kittens is all over the stores now.
Oh yeah,
I backed that original Kickstarter. I don't know how many years ago now. So
exactly, I did the Umbrella Academy role playing game.
Oh, I didn't even know they had one on there.
Yeah, it just looked awesome, and it was all the comic book art, from the series, and a bunch of original stuff, and they did slipcases that was original art, and I'm like, the kids love that, and I'll have fun playing that with them. But it's like I'm not a guy that buys games, but I'm like, that just looks really cool. And
here we go. Look at this one, Ava's Demon Reborn. It says funded in under 1 hour. Let's see what she had. Whoa. She's at $352,000 raised.
Whoa.
Who is this Ava?
Well, she's got a web comic, so it looks like she's collecting that. It's like I believe Katie Cook is going to be doing a Kickstarter pretty soon for her current web comic, probably coming out with the first segment as a graphic novel.
That will go insane.
But this is the kind of stuff you find on here that I never even heard of this. And look at, obviously she's been around. She's got a fan base. She's got 4,300 people who backed it, So this is the kind of stuff too. As a creator, I love looking through Kickstarter because this stuff inspires me. It's like, look at that. They're making it. They're doing it, Well,
and the cool thing on that is if you're someone that's backing these projects, you probably literally are the only person on your block to have that item. So it's definitely a very rare item to have, because even these larger Kickstarters like that with hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's only less than 5,000 people in the entire world that's going to have this as it comes out with the Kickstarter edition. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Think about our friends over, Sebastian and the guys at Stranger Comics.
Yeah.
We met them randomly by accident in Phoenix years ago. And we just thought they had great products. I mean, they really had great quality books. Their Kickstarters look good. And we started backing them. And now, they're on the verge of having a TV show on HBO.
They've got the initial contract with HBO. What's that called? Pre-development or whatever.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'll move forward.
Yeah. So
that's what they're doing scripting on that, and that's actually a big step for that. So probably just waiting to see if they do a pilot, which of course I think got slowed down because of COVID, but haven't heard anything about it being canceled. So I think that's a good sign.
Yeah. So those original Kickstarters that we backed from those guys, just because we enjoyed them, we thought they were great dudes, and we wanted to help and support them. And then the books are amazing, the artwork's fantastic. So the books we have are like one of 1,000. And one of 2,500, because they were excited to sell that many comics, when you're doing a Kickstarter.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
That's the nice thing about supporting projects like Wretched Realms, Crimson Shadows, Poe Macabre Master. You're getting in at the beginning stages of Bardstone. So, years later when we are big hot shots, you can say you met us.
You never know, but
but in all seriousness, Kirkman is a great example. Yes, when I first did Phoenix Comic-Con, it was in Mesa, Arizona. It was a tiny show before they moved over to the large place there. Or am I mixing it up with another one? That might have been.
No, you're right.
Yeah. And I remember Kirkman was sitting at some small little artist table. I had no idea who he was, and I talked to him briefly and moved on and didn't think anything special of it. And then 2 years later, Walking Dead's out, and all of a sudden he's heading up Hall H in San Diego Comic-Con. It's like, what the heck happened? That guy, I just met him 2 years ago, and he was at a table and no one was talking to him.
I met him at Chicago 2006. and Walking Dead the comic was already out, of course. So I heard he was there, and he had a little bit of a line. He was, people were wanting to see him, but it wasn't like the mass, like Exodus got to go meet this guy.
Right.
So I've got somewhere in one of my boxes. I still have an issue 6 of Walking Dead signed by him that I bought at the table at cover price,
and
which alone it's probably worth $50 to $100.
I love Kevin's story. You almost had Walking Dead issue 1 from him.
Yeah. Well, my best story is, I think it was it was right when Walking Dead was starting comic. So what would that be? 08, 09. So I hadn't started actually doing comic conventions yet. I was a little skinnier, had a little bit more hair, and I had the full beard. And I didn't know Robert Kirkman that well, but I was pretty much a doppelganger for Robert Kirkman. A little bit longer hair and everything else. So I'm walking around Chicago, and I'm walking around. I go by the image booth, and Rob Liefeld starts talking to me. I'm like, hey, how's it going? And about 30 seconds in, I realize he totally thinks I'm somebody else. But I didn't know who, He's talking to me like, oh, yeah,
like,
blah, blah,
who
this,
am I
we should go
supposed
do
to
that. And I'm like, okay, sure, yeah, whatever, So I'm like, and then he started looking at me. I'm like, you have no idea who I am. And he's like, I thought you were someone else. And I'm like, I figured, but I didn't want to cut you off. Will you do a sketch in my sketchbook for me? And he's like, okay.
To the
I'm
other.
like, who'd you think? And I had to ask him, who'd you think I was? He was like, Robert Kirkman. And I didn't know who he was. I'm like, oh, okay. So I had to Google search him. And I'm like, oh, I guess I do look like that guy. So I'm like, that's my Robert Kirkman story. I got mistaken
so you never
for him by
tried to
Rob
sneak
Liefeld.
onto the Walking Dead set?
Yeah. And I just find it funny because by that time, Robert Kirkman was one of the higher ups at Image. So Rob Liefeld was working for the man, and he thought I was him. So
you must
I
have
guess
really
I should have
looked
taken
like
the power and fired him. And just seen the look on his face.
No.
Draw me feet right now.
Now, but like you told me the story how when you went to the table, you were there, and Walking Dead #1 was there, and Battle Pope #1 was there.
Yep. And I'm like, oh, Battle Pope looks better. Yeah, so I bought Battle Pope and had him sign it and everything else, which, by the way, was just a totally fun, awesome book. It's totally me.
Yeah, it was a fun read.
Oh my God, it was a great book. But
see, this is where future Kevin failed past Kevin.
I know, right? Future Kevin needs to go back and
opened up a portal and said, pick the Walking Dead.
What he should have said was, buy every issue 1.
Buy them all.
Buy the stack.
I'll give them as gifts. Just sign 1. I'll give them as gifts.
You go back in some of those moments, and I remember when Heroes was huge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a signing with at Comic-Con, and Jeff Loeb was doing a signing.
Oh,
and I didn't know it. I had heard the Heroes, TV show was coming out. Well, they did special comic books just for the Comic Cons, and they were huge. They were going for hundreds of dollars on eBay after this. I went through that line. I didn't know anything about it. They had a stack of them that when they were done, they're like, hey, you want one of these? I'm like, no. They threw them in the trash. And I look back, and then you see them on eBay going for $250, $300. Like, stupid.
See,
oh my God!
Is nowhere near as
nice
you
so stupid
as past Kevin is to future Kevin.
Yeah. So there's been plenty of reason for future Kevin to kick past Kevin's ass. So
I think past Kevin should be mad at future Kevin because future Kevin's giving no clues. Future Kevin knows,
I know, right?
Future Kevin should be telling past Kevin.
We start getting into a paradox of how that works,
right.
But
that's right.
Yeah. We need to be able to time travel to that point when they throw them away. We pick them right out and time travel back. We have the books. Actually, we have to time travel only to a week later and sell them because nobody cares now.
I know. Yeah, with Heroes, everything was hot with Heroes till I think season 4 or something. Then all of a sudden it crashed.
Oh gosh, I don't think it made it really past season 2 after that.
Or maybe that's it.
Wayne, yeah.
Season 1 was awesome.
Season 1 was great.
2 was great. And then 3 was the strike season.
Well, and that's also where they got trapped in the time travel.
Yeah.
every show falls into that trap. That's what happened with the Flash and Arrowverse and all. They got trapped in the time circle, and you got to use it sparingly.
Yeah, once you knew who Zachary Quinto's character was, the bad guy.
Yeah.
Once you actually knew who he was, it lost a little bit of its luster. When they kept him very secretive and very in the shadows, it was a great show because it was the first time we really saw a realistic superhero.
Yeah, they screwed up in that first season by not having a complete story, and then the second season you can continue with some of them on, but introducing something different as the objective. They try to stretch out that first season way too much into the second season, and then you've got Hero doing all the time travel, and that really threw everything off.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and it's a valuable lesson in storytelling for creators too. It's whenever you minimize the impact of death, you lose a big thing because the audience gets invested in characters. There has to be a tension, a worry for the safety of that character. And once you introduce that you can just time travel and bring past people back, all tension is lost. And
you have to have a finality of the story or the person or the character. You want that. And, if you have a great story and you kill someone off and it's a great storyline and you finish it, you kind of ruin the entire thing if you bring them back afterwards. That's always been my, the one thing I did always like about some of the people on the Walking Dead TV series was they were really happy with the way most of them got killed off. They wanted to be killed off in a good way because, that was kind of like the send off of the character. They didn't want to come back. They didn't want to be back, bring them back to whatever. They wanted to be killed off and have something, significant. And that's really comic books 101. The kill Superman off, but you bring him back a year later, it really took away from it because they would have actually left him dead, which you knew they weren't. It was a great story, but bringing him back to life a year later really takes away from how good that story is. That's why it hasn't held up and people don't go back and look at it. But
that was my problem.
That was one of the best stories.
Yeah, that was also my problem with the first Superman movie. Is he just rotated Earth backwards, time traveled, and saved Lois Lane.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like, even as a kid, I really didn't like that.
And at the very least, you have to have some kind of cost because, it makes no sense. Why does he just do that all the time then? Yeah, all he had to do was reverse the spin of the Earth, which I suspect would have. Let's say that theoretically was possible. I would think that there would be a huge cost in that by shifting the rotation of the Earth, you would mess up the weather. You'd have insane weather patterns develop and earthquakes and volcanic eruptions and all kinds of craziness would happen. So that for him to do it, it would have to be hey, if I don't do this, the whole world dies. Yeah. So, but just because Lois was in a car accident, it's oh, come on.
Yeah, it was. I remember even as a kid, I didn't go that deep into everything that you just said. My whole was, wouldn't people be throwing up? That's all I thought. I mean, wouldn't that really like mess with people's heads? That's all I remember thinking. Like, they should be throwing up.
Well, if would it cause people to get thrown out to space because all of a sudden the centrifugal force would go the opposite way, or what would happen? I don't know.
Yeah, that's why Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. He can't time travel, right? And when people die in his world, they die. Gwen Stacy, come on, love of his life dies, and then it's Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben still dead after all these years. Although Batman's parents are still dead. Yeah. They're
for now. That's a catalyst,
Yeah.
So the whole time travel stuff, and that's the thing. Even as much as a Harry Potter fan I am, the Cursed Child play deals with time travel, and I think it was just a bad move to revisit stuff.
I think time travel worked in Prisoner of Azkaban.
The way she did it, she actually followed the proper rules. I mean, she used it for going classes, but then she also, when they had to try to save stuff, they couldn't be seen, and even Dumbledore tells them, don't be seen. You got to be quiet. You can't let yourself see yourself, things like that. Right. So they followed the rules you have to follow with time travel, so you don't change it. And then realize that some of the things they did actually did impact what was going on, but it was meant to because they weren't being seen. They didn't replace what they had done previously. What they'd done and as time traveling was actually part of what it was meant to be done. And that's where the difference is. But, it's even, it's everybody looks at Back to the Future is really the quintessential time travel movie. And it's, and it dealt right. Cause I mean, people, other movies like, Back to the Future 2 rules are in play now.
Right.
You can't see yourself. You can't touch yourself. That's why I always liked, what was it? It was the Time Cop. And if you touched yourself, because it was the same, mass, even if it was different times, you basically killed yourself. And I always thought that was a pretty cool way of dealing with time travel in that aspect.
One of the
Time Cop.
One of the time travel ones I really liked. Did you ever see Project Almanac?
No.
I think that one was great because what it happens is they go back in time and purposely, like any human, someone's going to screw things up by going back in time. Well, then they come back to they go change something to make their life better. Well, they didn't take into account the ripple effect.
Okay.
So then they go back in time to fix the change, but that causes its own ripples. And so every time they go back, there's different consequences unforeseen consequences of their actions. And really the lesson with time travel really is at some point you have to just accept that it will never go back to what it was. And you just have to live with whatever the reality is at some point. Because there's always
the free will part that has to come into play. Just because you went and changed that one thing, well, okay, you changed something, but that might now change the way people make decisions. So that's the free will part of it. So
yeah, and they even addressed that in that movie where one of the times they go back, the guy made a different decision, and they're like, "What the heck? How did he make a different choice?" Well, because in reality, in his brain, it was a toss-up. So the next time the chance came up, he ended up going with the other choice. So I found it to be very interesting how this whole thing, no matter what they did, they never fixed.
That sounds like a show that aired on ABC in the early 2000s called That Was Then. They only aired a few episodes, and every time he went back to change something, it messed up the future. And they showed him going back in time, like to the 80s, and he come back to early 2000s, and his future was all changed and everything else. So that sounds very similar to that. So actually, that sounds pretty cool. I'm gonna have to check that out.
I liked it. I mean, it's definitely a teen movie, but I like the premise of how they handled time travel.
I think 12 Monkeys has to be one of my favorite ones.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Monkeys was a good one. It handles it right. I mean, that's the
I
thing.
really like the series.
I never watched
the series. Was it any good?
I liked it better than the movie.
Really?
They could go,
the movie was
they were able to go
fantastic.
the movie's fine, but they could go so much deeper in a series.
True. Okay.
Going back and watching the movie, it's just the movie just felt like the story felt so rushed after watching a full season of 12 Monkeys. Mm-hmm. It just got so much deeper. But I really liked it. So
time is on your side. I can't sing. Mm-hmm. I'm not Scott. I don't see where I'm
It's on my side. Yes, it is.
I watched, Fallen? I watched that movie like a couple weeks ago. That movie's still amazing. Mm-hmm. Denzel Washington and the demon. The demon.
A long time. Yeah, that's a good movie.
The demon can transfer from person to person just by touching him, and he keeps singing "Time is on my side."
Oh, I didn't know. I don't remember Fallen.
And he's a serial killer, and he keeps messing with Denzel Washington because he likes playing around with him. So he keeps going from person to person. And then Denzel Washington keeps getting close. It's just
that was a good movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. Yeah, that was a great movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. So
I'll definitely like that.
John Goodman's in it, and I like John Goodman in anything. And now he's on. They're doing. I guess I forgot. They still have the Connors on TV now. I guess I saw a preview for that, and I'm like, "Who is that?" And Brandy's like, "That's John Goodman." I'm like, "That's half of John Goodman. What happened to him?
He's lost a lot of weight.
Oh, he is half the man. I mean, seriously, I was like, whoa. I mean, people lose weight and like, oh, hey, he lost weight. I'm like, that's a different person. They've replaced him with somebody else. I did think that for a second until he started talking. Yeah. When I just saw him, I'm like, he looks like John, but he's way too skinny.
Well, he looks like he's back down, but of course he's older. He looks like he's down to the weight that he was when he was in Revenge of the Nerds. If you go back and watch that, he was actually not as big as he was when he got onto Roseanne.
Yeah.
And that,
yeah, Roseanne was pretty big, and then King Ralph, in those days and stuff. And
well,
and
he did Babe Ruth movie, and everything he did from Roseanne through mid '90s. He had to be that big guy that was all centered around between playing Babe Ruth, King Ralph, playing on Roseanne, and then everything else for the longest time.
And Monsters Inc.
Yeah. He had that big voice.
He had to grow all that blue fur.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, he's actually someone I would enjoy meeting at a Comic-Con and just say, every movie I've ever seen you in, I've really enjoyed you.
Someone like him would
when you think about it,
Comic-Con.
Well, I've never seen him anywhere. I've never.
I don't think he's done appearances. He's one of those that probably would never really pop up because he's constantly working. He's someone that I've never seen not work. He seems to pop up in different series, different movies.
Commercials, something. Yeah,
commercials,
right.
everything. So he's constantly working. And it's like different. I can't think of some movies right now, but every time I turn around, like, oh, here's this movie that he was in. It's like, why was he in this? He's a smaller part, but he's got a decent role, and he's a character actor is what he is, and he's definitely a journeyman actor. He works. He doesn't just sit back and wait for a project. He's like, oh, a project, okay, I'll do it.
Right, right. Yeah.
That's
I've always liked him. I always find him funny. I think he's just a relatable guy.
I think it's why he's in The Big Lebowski. They're like, hey, we got a role for you. Okay. It pays.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
he was great in The Big Lebowski. So,
another person, who, you're talking about actors who are really good and how different they can be. Did you see Kevin James's commercial, the trailer for the one he's in coming up? Becky.
He's a Nazi that's after them and a serial killer. It is insane. It's a great movie.
A bad guy. It's like
he's horrible. Oh my god, it's so weird to see him that way. It's the movie is
so hardcore serious.
Yeah, I would give the movie a C, but just because it's Kevin James playing him, it gets moved up to a B.
Oh, did you see it already?
Yeah, I saw it. It's great.
I didn't know it was out.
Yeah, it's very on the extreme side of basically a little girl. It's basically Home Alone rated R with murder traps.
Right.
Wow.
But there's a scene where Kevin James literally has his eye poked out and it's still there, and he has to get rid of it, so he holds it down and cuts his own eye out. The cord and everything. And
how was this released? Was it on
it was it was in the theater right when COVID came out.
Yeah, because I wanted to
we streamed it, and I was actually happy to stream it because it was at that time there was nothing new anyways.
Yeah, you can rent it for $2.99 on Amazon or Vudu. Or
it's in Redbox.
Redbox. Yeah. He's got his head shaved. He's got this big beard. So check it out.
Yeah,
you would never know. I was stunned when I remember when I saw the trailer. Yeah. I'm like, what the heck?
He looks like Maurice doing the Nikolai Volkov movie from WWF.
He's got a monologue in the middle of the movie, and it'll make you. It's an awesome monologue, but in the same breath, it creeps you the hell out because it's hard to hear him saying the things he's saying. It's god awful. Yeah, it was like watching, Everyone Loves Raymond's dad in that Billy Bob Thornton movie. What was that? With Halle Berry, and he plays a racist.
No, Monsters Ball, yeah.
Monsters Ball. Yeah, hey, it's Everyone Loves Raymond's dad. This is great. He was Frankenstein and Young Frankenstein.
Yeah,
and it's and this also, and that, and what?
Joel McHale played a pretty serious role in there too.
Yes, he did. Yeah, it was great. It was fun seeing him die.
Is he wearing a bodysuit there?
No, he actually got in decent shape for that movie. That was the one where he was trying to raise money, I think, for the school or something like that. So he did the MMA or something like that.
Yeah, even in Becky, there's a scene where they show that he's completely tatted up, and I won't say that he's built, but I was surprised. I'm like, he's a pretty good sized guy. He's got a gut on him, but his shoulders has some pretty good definition in it, and
Yeah, he
Oh,
worked
he's
out for that
back.
one. Yeah, that was it. He's still got a gut in that. He's still, kind of.
Yeah,
but
but
you see, he worked out a lot to build up for that role, and
Yeah,
and
I
so
think he's not the
same.
same guy.
Yeah, he's not the same chubby guy that was on the show
No.
with Leah Remini, where he was the
King of
UPS
the
driver.
Hill.
King of the Hill,
King
yeah.
of Queens,
King
yeah.
of Queens or whatever it was. Yeah,
King of the Hill.
yeah. King of Queens, yeah,
That's pretty impressive.
yeah.
Yeah, he was interesting. Seeing him in that movie would make me want to go see him in maybe even a drama or something else.
He's a good
It was
actor.
just kind
I've
of
liked some of
novel.
his. I've liked some of his movies, and he's a good actor. And I remember seeing the trailer for that Becky, and I was like, "Wow, this is." I didn't realize it was already out. I thought it was something that was still coming.
Speaking of another
Yeah,
guy,
it's
have you
crazy.
seen the guy who's in My Name Is Earl, the brother?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
Ethan
huge.
Suplee.
Yeah, let me share that.
He's
screen.
he was in Mallrats. He played
Right, and
Willard.
he's a big guy.
Yeah, he was a really fat guy, and he's lost so much weight. You don't recognize him.
He didn't just lose weight; he gained weight.
Yeah,
All
he got all
muscle.
buffed
Look at him
out.
there.
He's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
isn't that insane?
in he's in The Hunt, that movie The Hunt that came
Oh,
out
is
not
he?
that long ago.
Okay, I hadn't seen that.
There he is in
that's where-
Mallrats.
Actually,
Yeah,
that one up there is that's from Remember the Titans when he played a football.
Yeah.
player.
Oh, that's right.
He
I
was
forgot.
really huge in Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
He actually lost weight from that to My Name Is Earl, and then now he's just a bodybuilder. He got all buffed out, and
Yeah.
I saw that about a year ago, and I was like, "That's Ethan Suplee." It's like didn't recognize he did it quietly too. He didn't.
Yeah.
Posting, once he got to a certain point, he's got like, boom, here's the Instagram post. I was like, "Oh my god, can you see the schooner yet?"
But see, the lesson is it's the beard.
Right?
Look at that beard. He's got a great beard going. So,
Well, if you look at him right there, he looks nothing like he's ever looked there. And
I wouldn't know that's the
places
same
before.
guy.
No, I thought it was somebody different. I thought somebody was playing a prank, but no, it's him.
It's him. That is him.
So,
Yeah,
My Name Is Earl too, and where he comes back from prison, and Earl's like, "You're back from prison. What the heck happened?"
Well, he was on. Did you guys ever watch The
working
Ranch?
out. Yeah,
Did you
Watch
watch
what?
The Ranch on Netflix with?
I got a couple of episodes. Yeah.
So he plays the cop in town
Okay.
on The Ranch. So in the first 2 seasons, he looked about normal, and then you get to season 3, and he comes in and he looks like that. And it's like night and day, and they just blow it off like, what the hell? And he's like, what? He goes, you didn't bring me any beer? He's like, no. They kept doing little things like that, but they never acknowledged the fact that he's like half the size and he's a big son of a bitch now.
Yeah.
I thought it was great how they just kind of like didn't even acknowledge that he looked that different. So
Cool. Well, it's 8:00, boys. So
Yeah.
we've got Wretched Realms going. We put the links in there. It's in the original post. It's in the comments. If you do your search, you can go to bardstone.com. We have links there. Go to Bardstone Publishing on Facebook. We have links everywhere. But check it out. Consider pledging, getting some rewards. We got awesome covers by Kevin, myself, Sergio Cariello. Great colors by Shara Lima. So we got a lot of great talent going together for this book. We're just over $200 away from hitting our goal. So check it out.
$272. Somebody pledge that right now. Let's get us hit the goal. So
Yep. Free
right?
sketches for $40 or up for pledges. Kevin's got some $20 sketch packages going. So check that out. So we got good rewards going.
awesome.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining and peace out.
All right. See you, everybody.